Mal, dass ich erstmal meine Schusswaffen nutzen wollte. Mal kurz in die Steuerung, das... Schusswaffe wechseln, C. Guck mal. Geht nicht. Warum geht das nicht? Vielleicht mit dem Mausrad? Nee, geht auch nicht. Geht alles nicht.
Over there! There's one of them vermin! Ah! Ah!
Siehst du auch nicht mehr gesund aus? Ein Ring. Ist es der eine Ring? Nee. G und T. Nee, T ist Heilung. Ja, T ist Heilung.
It's locked, all right.
Natürlich ist es verschlossen. Ich hätte ja nichts anderes erwartet.
I cannot enter.
Keep out? Sehe ich nicht. Anno. Oh. Jetzt muss ich erstmal gucken, wie ich da hinkomme. Springen kann ich nicht.
It's locked.
Mir nur so hochporten, aber auch nur an bestimmten Stellen. Sehr knifflig.
I cannot enter.
Alles hier verschlossen.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the street.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
What I'd like to know is, what type of cunt would murder a nurse? Fucking piece of shit.
Quest-Hinweise. Ich weiß nicht, ob man das mit Pet spielen kann, habe ich nie ausprobiert.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
Probier mal. Ja, kann man.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Unverschämter Bengel.
Goodbye, young man.
Spiele ich das mal jetzt kurz mit Pet? Mal sehen, ob... Oh, da kann ich die Steuerung überhaupt nicht.
I won't end up another drunk artist littering the streets. Not me.
Schmiermittel wieder mal.
It's locked, all right.
Alle Türen hier verschlossen, das geht ihm ziemlich auf die Ketten.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Was? Nee, brauch ich nix. Das ist die reine Wegsucherei hier. Okay.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for
Kann ich was
peace of
klauen?
mind. Can't you just look the other way this... Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Do you have any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Sad, of course, but I won't cry for her.
Why are you so indifferent?
I never trusted what she was doing with that dispensary. That kind of generous behavior always hides something.
Ich will denn jetzt die
Goodbye for now, Mr.
3
Lewis.
Stunden mit dem hier quatschen. Ich will den Weg hier wissen. Wie bist du?
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I won't deny. I was shocked when I heard about her death. People respect nothing anymore.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
What do you know about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I paid my respects when she got killed. She died far from her country and from her family. It is a sad story.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly, but it is not your concern, Doctor.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me?
I always...
You know...
Clayton
I believe...
Are you talking...
I've seen...
Gut, dann haben wir hier alles.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Trotzdem würde ich da jetzt gerne hin, aber es ist ja alles verschlossen. Was ist denn du für einer?
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Without a proper investigation, her death will go unpunished. Another Whitechapel tragedy. One that people need to hear about.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Bin ich jetzt aus Versehen richtig gegangen? Das ist immer was Neues.
Yes? What is it that you want? I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've made myself perfectly clear. This is a private matter.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
She has been laid to rest. That's all you need to know.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I feel responsible. The pain is consuming me.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I'm so sorry, Mary. I promise to find who is responsible for all this. I'll put an end to this horror.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Oh wow, hat's ja voll gebracht.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Ich glaube, das wird noch ein langes Spiel. Glaube ich jedenfalls. Ihr schon wieder? Seid ihr respawned oder was?
There's one of them! Watch yourselves!
Verpiss dich mal mit deinem komischen Kreuz da. Ist ja widerlich. Was willst du denn?
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth.
You. I remember you.
Okay.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
Riddles and rhymes. You took my life. Now you insult my mind.
Be stilled, my child. I bring understanding.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Dann muss ich erstmal wieder hier in dem komischen, komplizierten Krankenhaus die Treppe finden. Das war ich aber nicht.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
The hospital is chaotic as it is. No one will notice a few more bodies.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient.
Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
You want to restore peace in the hospital again?
Jonathan, please, I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please, then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of When suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Mikey. So, jetzt haben sie aufgehört zu quatschen, jetzt konnte ich.
Well, they are not far wrong. The hospital is almost crawling with vampires.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Ja, muss ja. Muss ja. Ich gehe jetzt
Sean
erstmal.
Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock.
Ja, halt.
There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Kitty, die hat einen neuen Einkaufsbeutel für sich entdeckt und pennt da drin. Hier geht's gut. So, erstmal versuchen jetzt ein bisschen was aufzuwerten, dass ich auch mal irgendwie meine Schusswaffen verwenden kann. Wie immer also, ganz genau. Waffen. Katze müsste man sein. Naja, manchmal auch nicht. Keine Ahnung. Was? Du kannst ja deine Waffe Bestandteile aufwerten. Ja, schön, dass ich sie modifizieren kann, aber ausrüsten kann ich sie nicht. Verdammt nochmal. Erhöhten verursachten Schaden um 10% oder Nachladezeit um 25%. Was nehmen wir da? Mehr Damage oder mehr schneller nachladen?